3 stages of an avoidant coming back and what makes them stay. If you've ever been with someone who pulled away just when things were getting good, who disappeared without warning, left your texts unread, or suddenly seemed like a stranger, you may have been dealing with an avoidant. And here's the painful twist. Just when you start to heal, just when you begin to move on, they come back. But it's not always obvious. Avoidants don't return with flowers and long apologies. They come back quietly, cautiously, almost like testing the temperature of a room they once set on fire. This is not a romantic story of love reborn. It's a psychological pattern. In this video, we'll break down the 3 stages of an avoidant coming back, why they move through these phases, and most importantly, what makes them stay. Stage 1, the silent hover. The first stage doesn't look like a comeback at all. It looks like silence. But underneath that silence, something is shifting. Avoidants are wired to retreat when closeness triggers fear. But here's the irony. They still feel attachment, just from a distance. So in this first stage, they begin to hover. Maybe they watch your stories. Maybe they don't block you. Maybe they subtly like an old post. They don't reach out, not yet. They want to feel your energy without being vulnerable. This is how they regulate their emotions, at a distance. For you, it might feel like nothing is happening. But to the avoidant, this is testing the waters. Are you angry? Are you dating someone new? Have you moved on? Their curiosity is masked by caution. If you post something emotional, they'll analyze it. If you go quiet, they'll notice. They may even ask mutual friends about you, but they won't say a word, not until they believe the coast is clear. What keeps them hovering is the emotional tether that never truly broke. Avoidants don't forget you. They file you away and revisit when it feels emotionally safer. This phase is the emotional checking in without the pressure of engagement. Stage 2, the subtle reconnection. This is when the avoidant makes their first move, but it won't be a declaration of love. It might be a text out of nowhere. Hey, I saw something that reminded me of you. Or maybe a reaction to your story. Something casual, harmless on the surface, but loaded underneath. Avoidants reach out when they think enough time has passed for the emotional threat to dissolve. But here's the secret. They're not just checking on you. They're also checking on themselves. Will they feel overwhelmed again? Will they spiral? If not, they take another step. This phase is fragile. They'll inch closer, but run if they sense pressure. They need control, so they'll reconnect in ways that feel light and low stakes. A meme, a comment, a question about something you're good at, and then they disappear again. Not because you did something wrong, but because the vulnerability hangover hits them hard. They realize, I'm getting close again, and that old fear returns. Your response during this phase determines a lot. If you flood them with need, they pull back. But if you stay grounded, curious, but not clingy, they feel a strange safety. Not from emotional intensity, but from your regulation. Avoidants are scared of drowning in someone else's emotional world. When you show that you're not going to chase or collapse into them, something inside them relaxes. That's what keeps them returning through this phase, your emotional steadiness. Stage 3, tentative recommitment. Eventually, if the avoidant feels safe enough, they'll enter this final stage, a slow return to emotional investment. But don't expect a big speech or romantic gesture. Their version of commitment isn't about saying, I love you. It's about being present without vanishing. They might start texting more regularly. They ask how your day was. They make plans in advance. These seem like small things, but for an avoidant, they're monumental. This stage requires one key ingredient: emotional safety. Avoidants only stay when they feel they're not being trapped, judged, or emotionally consumed. You can't change them with love, but you can create an emotional environment where they don't feel they have to run. That doesn't mean hiding your feelings or needs. It means expressing them without making the avoidant feel like they're responsible for rescuing you. The more you show that you can hold your own feelings and allow them to have space with theirs, the more likely they are to stay. But here's where many people go wrong. They mistake this stage for a full transformation. They believe the avoidant is fixed now, that love healed them, that the story's over. But no, this is where the real relationship begins, with two people who have to navigate the dance of connection and autonomy over and over again. Avoidance can grow, but it takes conscious effort, not just from them, but from you too. What makes an avoidant stay? Now let's talk about what truly makes them stay, not just come back temporarily. The answer lies in three deep emotional needs that the avoidant rarely admits. First, emotional sovereignty. Avoidants need to feel like they are still in control of their emotional world. If your love feels like a rescue mission, they'll bolt. But if your love feels like a mirror, reflecting their goodness without demanding their wholeness, they soften. The avoidant needs to feel free in love, not imprisoned by it. Give them the gift of space, not as punishment, but as trust. Second, subtle trust. Avoidants don't do well with intense emotional confrontations, but they crave consistency. If your words match your actions, if you don't explode or guilt trip when they need time, if you maintain your own center, they start to believe you're different. They stay when they don't feel emotionally ambushed, when they know you won't punish their distance but also won't collapse into it. Third, self-reflection. Ultimately, what keeps an avoidant in your life isn't your strategy, it's their own growth. Some avoidants stay because they've done the work: therapy, journaling, hard conversations with themselves. If they've begun to face their own fears of intimacy, they are more likely to stay, not just out of comfort, but out of capacity. Because now connection doesn't feel like a trap, it feels like a choice. And here's the paradox. The moment you stop needing them to return is often the moment they feel safest to do so. Because you're no longer clinging. You've stepped into your power. And to an avoidant, your power is magnetic, not threatening. They don't want to save you, but they might want to join you if they feel like you've already saved yourself. So if you're watching this and wondering, will my avoidant ex come back? The answer is possibly. But the deeper question is, what version of you will be there when they do? If you're still aching for validation, still hoping their return will fill the void they left, you'll be caught in the same cycle. But if you've done the work, built your boundaries, and remembered your worth, you won't just wait, you'll choose. Choose whether their return actually aligns with your peace. Choose whether their presence adds to your life or drains it again. Because just as avoidants have stages of coming back, you have stages of waking up, of realizing that you don't want crumbs. You don't want half-hearted love. You don't want a partner who comes and goes like a season. You want someone who chooses you with clarity. And if the avoidant can become that person, great. But if not, you'll still be whole. Let them hover. Let them reconnect. Let them try. But let your growth be the anchor, not their return. And remember, the one who truly stays is the one who doesn't make you question your own value.